What is up, guys? Bad news today. The stun loops are kind of nerfed or buffed. When I say buff, I mean something which is unknown, whether it's bugged or nerfed. So we're going to say that it is buffed. So at the end of the day, the thing is pretty unfortunate because it seems to me that the duration of the stun has been reduced by 1 second. Legend does also confirm that, and this makes it difficult, or let's say almost impossible, for any Scorpion in the game, regardless of his power generation, to lock enemies into stun loop. If you don't know what stun loop is, you need to equip gear that gives power generation, such as, for instance, Storm Hat, such as Soul Medallion, yada yada. So at the end of the day, you have 2 or 3 pieces that give power generation. You activate a certain talent that reduces the power cost of your special one, and you do stun loop, and your enemies is locked in this stun loop and cannot do anything about it. Unfortunately, it seems that this is no longer the case after this update. Again, I'm waiting to find out whether this thing is nerfed or actually it is bugged. They didn't intend to do it, or they did intend to do it. Let me demonstrate what I mean. What I need to do is to get to special 1 right now. So I'm going to do special 1, I'm going to special 1, alright. And now I'm going to do stun loop. 1, 2. 1, you see? 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to try again. Special 1. You see the duration of the stun? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I couldn't do it. I could do it actually, I'm sorry. Let's see how long I'm going to keep it. 1, 2. He escaped. And that is super unfortunate. And it's not dependent on the character. I'm going to try the same thing on Classic Scorpion. You can see, by the time I start the second combo, the stun expires, so he can either counter me or tag out. It is by far like obvious that there's something fishy here. So, in my opinion, it is truly nerfed, but I cannot say for sure until I see it. Unfortunately, the bad news don't end up here. By the way, this will elevate the value of MK11 Scorpion and Classic Scorpion even further, because all other Scorpions won't be that effective anymore. They cannot do stun loop, so yeah. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that MK11 Liu Kang is also buffed because he cannot use his special 1 chaining. The same applies to Classic Rain, who cannot do special 1 after special 2. You know, in the past, you could do special 2 with Classic Rain, the enemy will end up on the ground, and while he's on the ground, you can follow by immediate special 1. This will enable you to be able to keep spamming your special 1 without requiring block breaker at all, and it was very, very useful. However, it seems that those two BURFS are kind of connected, because they both involve your opponent being laying on the ground at the very moment you're doing a combo, like basic combo in the case of Liu Kang, or special attack in the case of Classic Rain. So at the end of the day, if I have to give my honest opinion, if this thing is indeed nerfed, I will say that this shouldn't happen. Because the stun loop is the last thing that it has to be nerfed in this game. If I am to decide what is to be nerfed, I wouldn't nerf the stun loop. This is not the most overpowered thing in the game. For instance, MK11 Scorpion is super overpowered, however, he hasn't been nerfed for a while. I'm not saying that he has to be nerfed, okay, don't kill me. I'm not saying that he has to be nerfed. All I'm saying is that he is much more overpowered than Strike Force Scorpion Special 1 loop. MK11 Scorpion at Fusion 0 level 1, I'm not kidding, at Fusion 0 level 1, with only 1 piece, for instance this, with only 1 piece, he doesn't require anything else, he can do 2 things. The first thing I'm going to demonstrate right now. I'm going to get into a battle so that you can see what he can do. We're going to distance ourselves from the fact that he's Fusion 8, Fusion 10, because here damage doesn't matter, I can only kill them by X-ray. So I'm going to target him, I'm going to hold block. So observe the health bar of Hanzo Hasashi, he has 2 fires as you can see. So only by virtue of tagging in, I didn't do anything else, I just tagged in my Scorpion, I took 32% of the health bar of all the entire enemy team. And that can be further amplified. Look at this, he even took 34 damage. So again, I did that by only tagging in. 35% of the entire enemy team, bam, gone. And you can do that at Fusion 0, it doesn't matter. But hey, we have to nerf the combo, you know, the special 1 loop of Strike Force Scorpion because 2 OP. Another thing, you witness that I cannot really change special 1 of the other Scorpion. Look at this, observe this. I can do that forever without having any equipment, while in the previous case I need to equip 3 equipment, and even then I couldn't do the stun loop. So tell me why, if this is the case, why they have to nerf the special 1 chain of Strike Force Scorpion, any Scorpion in the game, because On MK11 Scorpion, don't have to do that. So now after this nerf, I would just play MK11 Scorpion. Because why should I play the other Scorpions? I can achieve better stuff without having even one piece of gear for power generation. Look at this, MK11 Scorpion can lock people into special 1 loop without needing any equipment whatsoever. Strike Force Scorpion and other Scorpions that used to have the stun loop before this update could do that only, I repeat, only if you have a strategy, you know what you're doing, and you have specific equipment. Okay, I messed this up, but I only messed it up because I wasn't really paying attention. But anyways, so what I'm saying was this nerf, let's go with BURFS now, but if it is a really indeed a nerf, I hope I'm going to find out soon. If this is a nerf, it's not really necessary, and I'm going to try to fight so that this BURFS or nerf can be reverted back, because no, it's not good. It's not good. Again, this strategy requires some thinking. You cannot just take a character, as you see with MK11 Scorpion, one piece of block breaker and lock everything in special 1 loop. You cannot do that. You need to think, you need to get the equipment, you need to have the correct talent, you need to have the correct strategy and stuff like this. And in certain situations, especially for gold Scorpions, it's even more difficult because gold Scorpions only have 2 slots where they can get power generation from, while the other Scorpions can have 3, and that's a massive advantage. So at the end of the day, very bad news. Keep in mind, guys, that stun loop doesn't really work. Of course, I never tested it with all Scorpions in the game, but it seems to me that simply the stun duration is nerfed, which is unfortunate. But anyways, sad news. I didn't expect it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. What can you possibly do? So for this particular season 5 and eventually season 6, if you want to beat battles, for instance, with Hanzo Hasashi and you were using a lot of stun loops, I would rather use, for instance, Johnny or MK11 Scorpion or any character that can do his loop without being nerfed by a whole thing. For instance, Classic Scorpion is also, let me demonstrate how Classic Scorpion can do that. I will go here and I'm going to adopt the same fight, but I will be using Classic Scorpion instead of Strike Force Scorpion. And you can see that Classic Scorpion can actually do his special 1 loop without any issues whatsoever. Alright, so we have Classic Scorpion, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do the same thing, however, instead of stun loop, we're doing special 1 loop. Which is actually technically the same. The only thing is that if you're doing stun, there is one advantage. If you're doing stun, you can activate Death Mark in the process. There is a talent that can enable this to happen. So that's the only positive. Anyways, I'm going to demonstrate how Classic Scorpion can do special 1 loop. Okay. Alright, bam, 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 bam. It doesn't matter if he blocks, I'm going to break his block anyways, and I can do that forever. So I don't have to do stun loop. Again, why do you have to nerf Strike Force Scorpion and Scorpions who actually stun? It doesn't make any sense. It simply doesn't make any sense. So everybody will be using, if somebody was like, before I was like, oh my god, I don't want to use Classic Scorpion and MK11 Scorpion, they're too OP. I want to use some other character. Now they'll be like, oh, you know what? Why should I use the other guys who stun because their stun is destroyed? I will use just Classic Scorpion and spam this brainlessly for like 10 hours, kill everybody, and I'll be fine. So yeah, okay, enough of this. At the end of the day, the nerf should be reverted. If this is a nerf, if this is a bug, I hope they're going to fix it as soon as possible. And yeah, this is going to be all for me today. I hope you found this video useful. It was a sad video, but it is what it is, guys. See you next time. Take care.